Hey, welcome to the video on how to find some pertinent information from a hyperbola equation. So typically you would be finding such information to do a graph. We're not going to go that far on this video. There should be another video available about graphing hyperbola if you want to check that out. So standard hyperbola form looks a lot like an ellipse form, whereas you would need something along these lines. You need a set of parentheses. You just set of parentheses for your center, squared, no set of parentheses, and hey, you're probably talking about a center of 0, 0. And we need a squared down here. So the difference with the ellipse would be it's a plus sign instead of a minus sign in there. Another set of parentheses for your other coordinates squared with a b squared. And just like the ellipse equation, it equals 1 on the end. So let's take a look at this equation down below here. And to start off, well, hey, I need a set of parentheses squared to determine where my center is. So first thing we're going to do is pull out the old complete the square method. And I like doing them one at a time. In other words, I'm going to take care of the x's first. Complete the square number. And I'm going to save the y's. I'm not going to mess with those right yet. So over on the right side, if you are going to add something to the left side, then you're probably going to want to add something to the right side as well. So complete the square method. Half of 4 is 2. 2 squared is a 4. So to get my set of parentheses squared, I need that plus 4. I'm going to jump over here and do a plus 4 before I forget. And over here then, I've got some factoring I can do. X and an x for an x squared. 2 and 2 gets me the 4. Pair of plus signs to cover all the plus signs in the problem. And then, of course, better way of writing that guy, x plus 2 squared. And that's what we want anyway to find the center of the ellipse. So, got to eventually deal with these guys, the y's. But I'm going to show you a little trick that we want to pull first. 26 total over on the right side. So the minus sign that's right here in the middle, that's going to screw things up for me doing the complete the square method. So I want to be able to factor and put a y and a y. I don't want that negative sign there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide everything by -1. Now I don't want to get rid of these parentheses. That's what I want to find my center. So I can just put this -1 out here in front. Same idea. Or in shortcut terms, we're just going to switch the signs. Now I'm going to leave a spot for my complete the square. But don't forget about the 26. If we're going to change signs, we got to change all the signs. All right, repeat that guy again. Now I'm going to complete the square. Now I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to shortcut a little bit here. If we know ahead of time that the two parentheses are going to match, then I'm just going to cut to the chase. And I know my two sets of parentheses are going to be x minus 1 squared. The reason I know the 1, because I just noticed I left that out in the previous step, half of 2 is 1, 1 squared is 1. That would have completed the square. Need that plus 1 over here on the other side as well. So let's clean up the -26 and the 1. Gives me -25. So we're almost home. Now, again, a hyperbole equation has a subtract sign in the middle, so it would make sense for me to change that guy to a minus. Well, if I'm going to change that guy to a minus, it means I'm going to change that guy to a plus, or change it back. So we got that. So it's almost looking like a hyperbole equation. But again, hey, if I change the signs on the left side, I want to change the sign on the right side. But also, let me scroll back up for just a second. Take a look up here. Always got to have a 1 on the end. And I currently do not have a 1. So let's go back down and take care of that. Well, 25. Hey, if I divide by 25, I got that 1 that I need. Got to divide this guy by 25. Got to divide that guy by 25. So now we're looking at standard hyperbola form. Got a set of parentheses squared, which is going to help me out with the center. I got a number underneath. It's going to help me out with my vertices and foci and co-vertices. And there's my one on the end. So we could at least fill in some information over here in the right. We've got a center, and I've got my positive 2 down here. So I know that my center is going to be -2, comma, and I've got a -1 over there, so I know I got a +1. So -2, comma 1. So as far as A and B and C goes, well, A is always the first guy, or A squared is always the first guy. So if A squared is 25, I can square root both sides. And I know A is 5. I'm not going to torture you with the B squared portion because, hey, that guy's 25 as well. So we know B is going to be 5. So I get a pair of 5s working here. I get a 5 for A. I get a 5 for B. Now, how do you find C? Well, there's a little thing called the focus formula. So the focus formula, a little bit different for an ellipse, as is a hyperbola. A hyperbola's focus formula, C squared equals A squared plus B squared. An ellipse would have had a minus in the middle there. So, all right, let's figure out C. C squared, hey, we knew A squared was 25 from over here on the left. We knew B squared was 25. Total of 50. But I'm looking for C. I'm not looking for C squared. C is the square root of 50. So the question is your math teacher going to let you leave the square root of 50 or not? Well, I'll tell you what. Let's go a little further with this guy then. So if you get the square root of 50, I can do a little factor tree for that guy. I can say, hey, that's the square root of 25 times the square root of 2, or the 5 square root of 2. So there's C. C is 5 square root of 2. And the only other thing to consider, and again, we're not going to do a graph here on this video, but it's important to know which way you're drawing your hyperbola. Is it left and right, horizontally, or is it up and down vertically? So we can kind of go back over to the problem itself, or at least the form that we came up with right here. And basically all you have to do is ask yourself this question: which letter comes first? And since the X comes first, it's going to be horizontal. So I'll do a little abbreviation here about an HZ for horizontal. So you know when you're done drawing this guy, he's going to look a little something like that. He's going to move horizontally. So again, there's how to find the information from a hyperbola equation that's not in the correct form to start with. If you want to check out the graphing video, please do so. Thanks for watching.